Hey Reddit, what is currently in its golden age, but not enough people know about?
Knitting. First, we're in the golden age of yarns. There are hundreds of indie dyers putting amazing colors on a truly mind-boggling range of yarn bases, both fiber content and weight. Even cheap yarn is better quality and comes in a wider range of colors and bases than ever before. There's an abundance of wool yarn soft enough to wear next to your skin, although you can get scratchy yarn if that's your jam. Then there are the patterns. Thousands of them, many of them free online. Think of what you want to make, and there's a pattern out there. Tools too. How do you like your needles? You want wood, bamboo, steel, aluminum, plastic, or casein. Circular with 15 sizes of interchangeable tips. It can be straight, long, or short. They're out there. If you're a knitting nerd, it's a great time to be alive. Genetics. Now that we have a variety of very powerful sequencing technologies, combined with equally powerful analysis tools, the amount of information we can glean from a tiny sample is incredible. Meanwhile, techniques like CRISPR have opened a lot of doors for precision genome editing, and this is even being implemented in some treatments for genetic conditions. I hope we continue in this trajectory, but if they become more common, it is likely inevitable that some will see an opportunity to abuse them.
Tacking onto this, the use of genetic genealogy in forensics. Their identifying Jane/John Doe remains left and right, solving missing persons cases that have been open for decades, bringing closure to families who spent years and years wondering what happened to their loved ones. Pretty amazing.
Astronomy is currently experiencing a golden age. It has changed radically in the last 30-ish years. Think on this: if you are 30+ years old, you were born into a world that wasn't sure if planetary systems were rare or common. We now know that nearly all stars are likely to have planets. We know of 5,000+ exoplanets. Mars was not considered a place we could find signs of life by most. The generation of spacecraft exploring Mars since the year 2000 changed that. Now some argue that discovering signs of past life on Mars is a matter of when, not if. We found multiple worlds in our solar system with liquid water oceans. This is just scratching the surface. New technologies like JWST promise to keep the momentum for the foreseeable future.
100 years ago, we were debating if the Milky Way was the entire universe. It's crazy to think about how far astronomy and cosmology have come. And it's not just huge existential topics either. Galaxy evolution has been completely reversed in the past 20 years. Elliptical aka early type galaxies are the end result of mergers of spiral and irregular aka late types.
Internal combustion sports cars. The golden age of horsepower.
Yeah, it's insane how far IC engines have come. We have 4 cylinders that would smoke old supercars. Some of them push 350 to 400 horsepower stock, and even 3-cylinder engines can be nuts. The stats on the new GR Yaris blew me away when I first saw them. Don't get me started on Koenigsegg.
I think there were 2 golden ages.
The late 90s and early 2000s.
When cars were heavily tunable. You could do some crazy shit with 4 banger motors of the day and put serious power to pavement. But the cars had nothing in the way of traction control, and it made for high-powered but nigh uncontrollable cars. Then the modern era, where sports cars just come from the factory with power out the ass, and also traction control, all-wheel drive, and great driver assist technologies. But they're not nearly as tunable because of how heavily dependent they are on extremely precise tuning and control.